Greetings. Dr. Kenneth Niles tuning here with you and coming into your space again on this great day, this great year of 2023. Yes, it is. It is. And you know it's already February. So you would have had all those expressions and joys and experiences of happiness and anticipation come January, and you started to give your blessings, Happy New Year, and blessings this, and God bless you, all those things. And you already put on your pen and paper there, you writing to see, hey, where are we going with this? What's going to happen in 2023, by January this, by February that, by April this, by June that, by July. Oh, we're going down the road and we have all these great plans. And I know that you must have been very, very excited about that. And of course, you could have had some reflection of 2022. Oh, I did plan that, but it didn't happen. Something went wrong. I don't know what happened. Well, I did have these successes. I got married. I got a baby. I got a job. Oh, I lost my job. Oh my goodness, we have a plethora of experiences and situations that we can talk about. And I think it's important for us to really sit back here and talk about this word that I want to share with you for the next couple of podcasts. It is disappointment. Or you could put the S in to say disappointment. Because I think that's one of the crucial benchmarks for our wear and tear over the last year. Or you can call that grief and loss or mental health issues. We want to look at how does this play in my daily living, and how do I learn to work above this. It's important for me to see how this is apparent as a means of helping us to really become into that place of homeostasis, establishing resilience with all those emotions that are going to flood us when there's that big word, disappointment. One of the things about that word we must realize that within it there is the appointment. So that there has been an appointment, there has been a plan, there has been something that says, this is what I am going to do. And I have engaged a particular concept or particular construct or particular environment, like a person with which we will work out a particular scheme at some point in time. And so we are looking forward. Oh, there's something called anticipation. Ah, wow. I will be, I am going to, I shall, future tense. And I'm very excited about that. But what is the reality of that? Oh, the first one maybe on that sheet of paper. Well, tick, yes. It happened and I'm very happy, and life goes on. I'm happy and everybody's fine. We're doing good work. And then all of a sudden, there's an X. This one didn't happen. But this was what I wanted. This is impacting my life. This is really crucial for the rest of all the plans I've had. Oh my goodness. Disappointment. Oh, it could be just that somebody turned up late and you didn't go out, all dressed up and ready, and didn't go out. Oh, it was somebody who said they would have come visit and never came. But you see, however we want to interpret the aesthetics or the whole parameter of how the construct of that plan is, the failure to have the appointment or to the engagement brings that DIS word into it. This. So, when when I was growing up, we used to use this phrase, he dissed me. I suppose you may have heard that in your own country. It's just DIS, he dissed me. That means he didn't turn up. Oh, I was left for stranded. I was left there, not being able to hand him a story that nobody, I was just left, so he dissed me. So that word diss, with the word appointment, brings us into that place where the appointment didn't happen. It was this. It just didn't come to pass. But once that happens, there is the context here of that expectation that you had not having the same outcome. So we actually have to talk here about expectations versus outcomes. Oh, you see, we've had expectation. The plan is, I am going to engage. I am going to have an appointment. But all of a sudden, all that's been dissed. How do you feel? How am I going to work out this appointment? And I want us to first look at the expectation. With expectation, there's a lot of emotion. Because in that expectation, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of futuristic anticipation of change and joy, all positive, of course. And you are looking to see the connectivity of one thing happening that will affect the other. And so that when one particular aspect fails, when that expectation is not realized in the outcome, and the outcome is different to the expectation, we have that big word, disappointment. And we immediately have a whole issue with adrenaline and all the other hormones. Fight and flight, the dopamine, all of them. Yes. I say all of them. I think all the hormones in our bodies kind of shift all around the place, but especially adrenaline, it just drops or heightens. And there's an explosion of behaviors and emotions because I am disappointed. The very position I'm at basically before this appointment is joy. I am happy. I am enjoying myself. I look around, I could read. Wow, I am just happy. I am fine. I am doing well. Yes, I am. I am just happy. Wow. I am happy. And I trust that all that I've planned is going to happen. I trust that the connective points are all going to be in place to make it work well. I'm sure the other persons and the other systems that are important for that kind of connection is fine. Oh, so I have joy. I have trust. And then all of a sudden, something is not working out as it should be. The outcomes of that particular plan is different to the expectation. There is change. So I am now thrown into a space that I am not expecting. I didn't plan. And there's a disruption in my whole thought life. I know my own being. I do not know what to do. And so I become fearful of going forward because I don't know what to do. I did not plan for this. I did not have this in mind. This is February. What's going to happen in March? There was a supportive relay going from one thing to the other. And so that I don't know what to do now. And so with that fear of the future, there comes a number of issues that we need to look at here. Because am I going to go forward having this context of, hey, what happened here? Now, I can put in a word here that is very, very interesting. Surprise! Now, we always say surprise as that positive thing that, that somebody comes and gives you a cake or surprise, birthday party, surprise, look, surprise, something. But surprise, disappointment. Because it is a surprise. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. It is a surprise because it's different. You are surprised that this outcome is different to the expectation. So we may not want to continue using the word surprise. We may want to say maybe there is a shock. Yes, word. But that shock is because of the difference that brings that surprise differently. And so I am now shocked. But what? That kind of app? Yes, it's all that. But it is a surprise because you didn't plan for it and it jumps up in your face. I know we've always saw surprises positively. Yeah. I'm not negating that. But I am also saying that we have to look at the world that it is a surprise. It is like, where did this thing come from? And so therefore I'm thrown into a space that I am not prepared for. No matter how much plan Bs you want. You see, you did not plan anything about disappointment. You didn't plan for that. You were planning for the appointment. You're planning with all the positivities. You're planning for everything to connect. So you're planning even joy. You're planning how to respond. You're planning to have a party. You're planning to dress up. You're planning to go to town. You're planning to take a trip out of this one activity that is now a disappointment. How do I work that? How do I decide that this is, part of what my future is going to be like? How am I relegating this? Huh. Wow. So we can look at that other word that comes up there, disgust. Well, I'm using this because it is part of what we look at that wheel of emotions in terms of human development, and understand that you are that kind of that. What is going to happen? And there are all these what ifs and should have been, could have, would have, that immediately flood your brain. And so that we are in a space here working out. Immediately we start working out that this word, disappointment. But but before we start to work out the ramifications of the activity, we are all into our own emotions. So let's say, for example, you were hoping to get some cash because later down you wanted to buy a ticket or you wanted to buy something, and right now that money is not, you're not getting it. So at that point in time of that disappointment, you are not working out the next step with the money, the ticket, the purchase, or whatever. No, you are working out the issue of your emotions that makes you feel the way you feel because you didn't get the outcome that you wanted after that great expectation. So we need to join with you. I need to join with you and say, okay, let's deal with the me that is experiencing all this fury and fury. So I'm angry. That means I have those emotions these emotions are negative. Oh, this emotion, sorry, that anger. That's how anger. There may be others, but that's an anger that we have the disgust, which is the precursor to anger. So I am disgusted. I'm in this mood of coming from the shock. Well, surprise / shock, disgust, agony is like, what? And I get, therefore, coming to that place where I am angry. I don't have the capacity to change it or to bring it differently this time, and I want to do something about that. So my emotions and my brain are giving me information that I cannot handle and work out, but I wish something could happen to bring a change, and I wish. And so we are angry. At that point in time, there is a shifting between denial and acceptance of the situation. This really isn't happening. I wish it happened. No, come on. Make a phone call again. Come again. No. This is not the time. This is, you sure it's my name? We have all these reactions because there are these negative emotions now building and coming into place with us. And we are there wondering, excuse me, how am I going forward? I am so pissed. A word that is used. It's not just I'm annoyed, I just, look, something has to give, something has to be done. But the issue is, hold on. So we have to realize that there is a difference in the outcome from the expectation. And I am generally disappointed. But you see, I am not working that word out any further than a sort of disappointment. I am working out surprise, shock. I'm working out disgust, anger. I'm working out these emotions first. And don't touch me right now. You see, we begin to isolate ourselves. We want to find a means within our brain where we can bring back some control to my plan. Because right now, the plan is out of control. There is no control. There is no way I can bring it into any place. I can't shift it. It's lost. I can't get involved. It's out of my hands. So that all those thoughts make me, in my disappointment, much more emotional. So some people, they start crying, they start cussing, they start bawling, they get silent. Wow. And then, so there is that the concept of how am I in this place where I can now maybe realize that if anybody comes to me now to talk about, by the way, did you said you were going to, that makes me annoyed. So I am not annoyed with the disappointment. The annoyance comes from public when public decides to remind me of what I should have had. I become annoyed. Am I going too fast? So one of the things that I need to go back to in terms of the whole emotional context with this disappointment is that what is going to happen next? It's called anticipation. So I'm anticipating what now? Now, the anticipation here again, it is not that it is going to be very positive. Because we always anticipate things, both negative and positive, but we anticipating because, again, with the expectation and the planning and all those nice things that you jotted down, there is an anticipation of blessing, of peace. The anticipation of the first two words we use, joy and trust. We are going to be in a different place. We're going to really be having a good time whether in my new dress, my new house, my flight, my vacation, whatever. But now, the anticipation is what the unknown. Because something's going to happen. Because I can push in those two bad words, time and space. I got disappointed that, let's say, midday, but there's going to be a 12:30. There's going to be a 1 o'clock. What's going to happen? What is going to happen to me? How am I going to be able to live and to work in my space without the thing that I thought I should have had to accomplish my future or to bring the realities of my plans? What? So I have question marks flowing. So that's why if anybody comes to ask me now, what? We are not talking about that. Because I am still maybe so angry that I am still wondering, what next? What next? And so that I can go into a state of, into a vacuum, into a space of where my whole brain can't even seem to work. I seem to go into a space where I don't want to think. I don't want to plan anything. I'm done. Should I jump to that so quickly? There's so much here that we need to look at in terms of the fact that, A, we do have a loss. I could begin to grieve, and you may say, grieve about what? Grieve about why? But you see, there has been a breach. There has been a gap. There's a nothing that should have been where there should have been a something. And so having started off my day with that joy and that trust, and voila, no, a different outcome. The fear, the shock, that surprise shock, the disgust, the anger, leads me to a place now where I am anticipating nothing different from. So I can always be anticipating the negativity. And that brings me to that place where we have these two other words, pessimism and optimism. Because at this point in time, before the disappointment, there was optimism. There was great optimism. But now, should I go on believing? Should I go on expecting this that the outcome will be the expectation? No, I don't. I'm not able to do this at all. Because see now in anticipating my future, it becomes pessimistic. So I am now anticipating anything. I am not planning nothing. Whatever happens, say, there was this old song, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. And even if we want to sing that, we might know it somewhere on the line that there is still an anticipation of a good would be, a would be that will reconcile the past issues of disappointment. But there is still the carrying of that emotion that says, I did not get what I had expected. My outcome was different to the expectation. There is still that quantum as to where do I go forward and how do I work with the people around me who I had spoken to and told all about what was going to happen, and they come now to ask me, and I am getting annoyed. How do I work out annoyance to get back into that place of homeostasis, and therefore I can continue the camaraderie around me and keep that connectivity? How do I work that emotion? And how do I get to continue as I go along? And those are good questions. Those are relevant questions. And those are questions that we're going to answer as we go along. So that it is important for you to grasp the fact that, hey, I need to work out my disappointment. I need to learn how to find back an emotion of joy rather than continue with the emotion of sadness and emotional disappointment that brought the sadness, that brought the anger. And I don't want to be angry for the rest of my life or the rest of the, give me some time. But I'm not sure how much time you want, because that time could be years. Because you see, there's sometimes we kind of never seem to get over. So let me help you here, just for today, to understand that we are looking at the word disappointment, but we also, so therefore, we are looking at the issue of expectation and outcome, because in our expectation, we have planned, we have written down, we are forecasting, we are looking, and we are going through, and the time is coming up for the fulfillment of that expectation, and alas, the outcomes is different. Wow, no appointment, no engagement is a disappointment. And so I am now coming out into my day with joy and trusting, and all of a sudden, bang, I am shattered. So I become fearful of what's going to happen next. There's this element of surprise that I didn't expect, and we call that shock too. I am disgusted, I feel and I get angry. We are going to work out all that, what that means, and we're going to establish how we're going forward together. So let's put a pause here for today, and we're going to come back and see how that works out for us as we continue down the road. So we're going to help you to learn how to smile after disappointment quick enough so that we can really continue having a great life and a great day. So, have a good day. Continue to have a good time. And this is Dr. Niles, sign off. And I want you to continue to expect we're going to work out the outcome.